And then this piece, this is where some of us had trouble, and maybe we didn't really have trouble, we just weren't using what they wanted. So we're just looking for single letters. So some people wrote out adenine, or they used a lowercase letter, and we want the just A and G. So T bonds with A, and A bonds with T, and C bonds with G, and G bonds with C. So most of us had that hydrogen bond. That's what a lot of us were struggling with. So the dotted lines in between two bases are the hydrogen bonds. And the other, we didn't know what to call this 3-piece unit, which we're going to see today in today's assignment. So the 3 pieces are called, like, together, that's a nucleotide. So nucleotide is made up of a phosphate sugar. So notice alternating phosphate sugar backbone. And then the nitrogen base that makes up the rungs of the ladder, or the steps of the ladder. This was the piece that was really hard for us. So if adenine is 15, remember adenine equals thymine, right? So if adenine is 15, then thymine is also 15. This is all going to add up to 100%. So we've covered 30, which means we have 70 left. If cytosine and guanine are in equal amounts and together they equal 70, then I just have to divide by 2, right? So each one of them would be 35. 35 and 35 is 70. So now that will add up to 100. They got a little trickier with the next one, and I actually didn't do the math on this one yet. But if cytosine is 42.5, what is guanine? So start with the ones that are equal. The same, 42.5. So that's 84, 85. Am I right? So that leaves 15. So these two together will make up 15, which means each one is what? 7.5, yeah. So that's how you would have done the math piece of that. So I reopened, this is one of the students, but I reopened that for many of you. If you wanted to go in and make corrections on that, you can do that. If you got like all of your points, then I didn't bother reopening it. If you missed 2 points, I think I might not have reopened it. That's okay. It's okay. Okay. What questions do you have? Okay, so we are going to enter a Kahoot next. So in our Google World, I have a link that I can use. So this is going to be a Kahoot just on DNA structure, and then we're going to work a little bit more with DNA structure in a gizmo. So I linked it there, so if you always want to play it later, you can play it later. You can challenge a friend. If you can hit here to practice by yourself, automatically move through, that's what I like. So we'll play a classic game of Kahoot to practice our information related to DNA structure. You can go ahead and join in the fun. So we talked about single rings and double rings last time we were together. The single rings are the pyrimidines, and the double rings are the purines. That was fun. We can do later. So I was just talking about these subunits, right? Symbol for silver is Ag. Sartaj is on fire. Joey breaks into the top 3. Next week, you're going to make a model. Who are you going to be simulating? Materials you want to use for the model. On the test, we're going to want to be able to match these scientists with their discoveries. That's flashcardable stuff. Got a lot of movement on the board that time. You'll notice the letters here Oh, I guess they're still written up there too. C bonds to G, T bonds to A bonds to T, G bonds to C. No movement on the board. Equal opportunity. The three pieces of a nucleotide. We got the phosphate, the nitrogen base, and the sugar molecule, deoxyribose. Got a little bit of movement. Gabby's moving back up. What holds them together in the middle? What are you going to find in between the nitrogen bases? These dotted lines are hydrogen bonds. There's 3 between cytosine and guanine. There's 2 between adenine and thymine. Another complementary strand. Here's your strand. The car in the garage. C bonds to G. Apple in a tree. A bonds to T. Gabby's on fire. Riley's moving on up. We looked at photo 51 last we were together. Photo 51 was a picture taken of DNA. And it was made through X-ray diffraction. To be good practice for you again later, or when you're getting ready for the test, you can come back to these Kahoots and try them on your own or challenge a friend. Just did that example. A equals T. If A is 15%, so is T. Yeah, I have a chat in the chat box. I gotta write down Riley, Gabby, and Sartaj. Hey, good job. Good job. Good job. Oh shoot, Jonathan, I'm so sorry. I didn't catch your message before. And I know I threw some of you guys off because I pointed out where you could find it in the Google Classroom. But in order to join it, you still just needed our code. You weren't actually going to the link in the classroom. Okay. So were there any of these that you wanted to clear up? Yeah. Yeah, sure. Any of those you want to clear up? So what makes up the sides of the ladder? The two things alternate on the sides. Are they nitrogen bases? Adenine, I'm sorry, are they nitrogen bases? Are they sugars? Are they phosphates? Which of those two make up the sides? So the nitrogen bases are on the inside, no worries. And that's why we're going to do this model. So we're going to be making a model next week because they take a while. So it'll be a good use of 85-minute class. So this is going to give us an idea of what maybe we need to do when we make a physical model. So in this gizmo that you're going to do, and you have a worksheet that goes along with it, you're going to take out part of a nucleotide. So this has a sugar and a nitrogen base. What is missing? What one piece is missing? Yes, Gabby? Yeah, we need a phosphate. So in order to bond to another nucleotide, we need a phosphate to make that bond. So that you see, I have alternating sugar, phosphate, whoops. That's gonna make the alternation. Nitrogen bases are gonna make up the rungs in the middle. The order of this does not matter. You will create your own sequence. When you've emptied both compartments, all of your phosphates are used, all of your nucleotides are used, you'll get the other side of the model, okay? So you'll be able to answer questions on putting the model together and then taking the model apart to replicate DNA. Don't forget, there are these questions that follow. So I would like to see you answer these questions as well. Okay, so you have in the classroom this worksheet. A few of you are already done with it. Pieces that students struggled with last hour was knowing that this is a sugar. The yellow one is not really labeled, right? So the sugar and the blue circle is the phosphate and the colored portion is the nitrogen base. That wasn't terribly clear. Okay, what questions do you have?